Alrighty, it is raining and cold and I don't want to today, so we're gonna keep this video as short as possible. Got the LL Bean back from the body shop. Check it out, no more dent. Nice fresh paint all the way down the side. Even got our hood repainted where it was peeling. About to go take this to the body shop sometime this week for them to do the color sand and buff on it. They did not keep it and do it when they painted the car due to the fact that it was so cold. They want to do a few weeks for the clear coat to completely cure and harden. So that's on the agenda. Since that's going to be going to the body shop, I'm going to be driving the Duramax for the next few days, although the cold has killed the battery in it, so hopefully I can get it to jump off here before I leave the farm. Well, let's back up. This morning I sold the 2014 Outback 3.6R. The person who has purchased the car runs legacygt.com, which was pretty neat. He was very excited to get the car, so I know it's going to a good home. Nothing wrong with the car. The only reason I'm selling it is because I don't really need it, and I don't really need a car payment. So now that the LL Bean has gone through the body shop and basically looks brand new all the way around and it's paid for, I'm just gonna go back to driving it. So no more car payment. Not really a purpose to having it. So with that said, now I've only got the LL Bean and the Duramax to drive. I know, poor me, I only have two vehicles to drive, but I'm going to start driving. I like to have two cars in the truck, that way I have options to alternate through if I have issues with any of them. That's just me being paranoid and weird, I guess. But purpose of this video today, one, to inform you the 2014 is gone. Two, to show you the Outback's back from the body shop, which we're gonna do a more in-depth video on that car after I get it back from getting buffed and color sanded and all that, and go over detailing it and, you know, a little bit more about it, since we don't see very much of it on a whole. It's just repair videos here and there. So the next thing I got to figure out now, and the reason why I'm making this video, is to get you guys' opinion. The 2005 Legacy GT project car, finally got the title for it. It does have a salvage title, but I didn't pay but $1,500 for the car, so I ain't mad about it. No, I have to at least put an engine in it due to the rod knock. I'm not sure what else is involved in this car, what else is wrong, needed, etc. With 120,000 miles on it, I doubt it's got transmission issues, but I'm not gonna jinx myself too bad by saying that. I'd hate to put an engine in it and then have to put a transmission into it as well. We've got the 96 SVX LSI, which, as far as I know, the only issue with it is the transmission. It did have a bad water pump, but I changed that a few years back after I got the car. So I've had this car way too long to have not really been able to drive it. I really want to go ahead and put a transmission in it. At this point, I'd probably just rebuild the factory 4EAT in it. I'd like to do a 444 swap, but I don't have one on hand right now, and I don't really feel like going out and trying to find one in the junkyards, and I don't really want to mess with the rear end. So same thing with a 5-speed or 6-speed swap. I would like to have it manual, but it's just too much for me to do out here in the yard. I don't really know if I'll be able to do the transmission in the yard, if I'll be able to get the car up off the ground safely, high enough, safely enough where I can get the transmission out, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But choices now, I don't know if I'm gonna throw a tag on this, put an engine in it, and hopefully that's all it is and start driving it as the second car. I really want to throw the tag back on the SVX, put the transmission in it, and finally start getting to drive it, because it's such a great car, such an oddball car. We've got some clear coat damage now on the roof, the hood, and on the back, but my body shop guy that painted the LL Bean. I'm gonna get him to repaint that, so I'm not too worried about that. Kind of worried about how bad this paint's getting on this spoiler. It's starting to get into the fiberglass here, and here. I really don't want this thing to ruin. Plus the fact that it's been sitting in the sun so long, the back seats have cracked all to pieces, but I've got an upholstery guy that can fix that up. And choice number 3, patches, my 95 Legacy L. As far as I know, I can throw a tag on this thing and start driving it again immediately. It does have a bad throwout bearing, but I drove it for thousands of miles in that condition. I do have a brand new in the box clutch kit for this car. I bought about 4 years ago. I don't know if you'll be able to see it through there, but it's back there in the hatch, sitting there in the box, brand new. Have not put it in. So that would be the first thing I'd probably do to her. Tires are dry rotted all to pieces on it. So my plan was my 98 Legacy GT, the JDM cookie front end converted, the silver sedan that was in some of my order videos that I sold. I saved all the JDM goodies for it, and my plan was to throw them on this car. So a few videos there. Put the God, what are those wheels? The Advan RG2s off of the 98 GT on this car. Take the WRX wheels off. This car already's got WRX 2004 WRX buckets in it. It's already got a first gen Outback hood scoop hood on it. I would put the JDM projector headlights in it, the JDM Legacy GTB front bumper on it. It's still just a little 2.2 NA with like 320,000 miles on it. I ain't worried about doing anything to it yet, other than probably reselling the oil pan and the oil air separator plate and the rear main seal when I got it out doing the clutch. Long-term plan would be to throw one of my spare EG33s in this thing and swap it over to Legacy GT 5-speed transmission that I have in the trunk of this car. I've got a Legacy GT out of a 2005, I believe, Legacy GT, back up, 2005 2.5 GT Legacy transmission and rear differential are in the trunk of this car that were planned to go into this car with the EG33 swap if I get there. That EG33 swap was actually planned for my 98 2.5 GT sedan, but now that I've sold it, I prefer a wagon anyway. This is actually not the first Subaru, second Subaru ever bought. My WRX 04 WRX was my first one, but I digress. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm out here getting soaked in this rain. So, question for you guys: what do you think? Tell me in the comments, what do you think we should do next? Get patches back in all its glory with some JDM goodies, the Advans, and rocket stock. I know we got issue with the AC compressor and a few other things, so several videos we can go over. The AC works fine, but there is a bad bearing in the front of the compressor. I've changed the compressor before with another junkyard one, and it had the same issue, so I'm probably going to have to break down and buy a $300-something compressor for this car that I only paid $450 for, which is kind of nuts, but it is what it is at this point if I can't find a good used one. So we get this one back going. Do I throw a tag on the SVX, fix the transmission in it, finally get to drive it, and make some cool videos on the SVX. I know it's an oddball one, and not a lot of you viewers have one. If you do have one, and a lot of the videos wouldn't be relative to anything that you own, or the Legacy GT, which, like I said, has a salvage title, so resale value is not gonna be great, and I don't want to sink a ton of money into it by putting a fresh engine in it. But, and you know, not knowing if I have transmission issues or unknown other issues with the car other than the rod knock it's got now. But you know, a lot of the videos on this would pertain to a lot of people, a lot of things that some of you will want to see, I'm sure, of rebuilding the engine, and especially being a turbo engine. I don't have a lot of turbo content on the channel right now, so that's basically where I'm headed. Either the Legacy 05 Legacy GT, the 96 SVX LSI, or the 95 Legacy L. Hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think, why you think the way you think. So, with that, I'm gonna get my butt out of this cold, freezing rain. This crazy South Carolina weather we've had. It was 70 degrees yesterday. Earlier this morning it was sleeting. When I was at the DMV with the guy that was buying the 3.6R, it started snowing on us, and then it sleeted again. Now it's just extremely cold rain. 2 weeks ago it was in the 80s, and 4 weeks ago it was 19 degrees. But it's South Carolina. For anyone that lives here, you know we have some extremely bipolar weather, especially in the wintertime. So I'm rambling on. Who cares about the weather? Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.